Well, it's time now for a look through the newspapers. Our press reviewer, Diptyque Laurent, joins us in the studio. Diptyque, starting with Germany, which takes over the rotating presidency of the European Union.
Yeah, that's right. It starts today and it comes at a particularly crucial time. It's the last 15 months for Angela Merkel in office. She said she'll step down at the end of her mandate next year. The EU needs to find agreement on a whole bunch of things, including a huge economic deal to get through the coronavirus crisis. There's lingering Brexit. There's an increasingly assertive China. There's also uncertainty around the US elections in November. So a lot of things happening in the next 6 months. It's Merkel's hour. That's what the French paper La Croix says on its front page. The paper offering a rather hopeful editorial saying that this is an opportunity, perhaps the last one, for a flailing Europe to redeem itself. Not quite the same take from a German paper, Der Tagesspiegel, the writer here saying Europe is not made of fairy tales and Germany cannot miraculously solve all of Europe's problems in 6 months. In fact, the writer saying because it only has 6 months, it's almost certainly destined to fail.
Definitely a sizable in tray going forward for the next 6 months. You mentioned briefly China there, and there's lots of reactions in the newspapers today following China's passing of that controversial national security law in Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's right. It comes just a day after, it comes on the day that Beijing imposed its national security law and the anniversary of Hong Kong. It also tightens, this law will also tighten control over the semi-autonomous island, make things like subversion and colluding with foreign forces punishable by life in prison. The Chinese press spins it in a different way, though. The China Daily's editors today saying the bill will maintain stability and security in Hong Kong and better protect its economy, its autonomy by preventing foreign forces from meddling. There's a really strong piece in the Hong Kong Free Press today, penned by 3 writers, including Joshua Wong, who you know is the pro-democracy activist in Hong Kong, which warns that the liberal order is facing an unprecedented threat. I quote, "Never since Napoleon's France has the most likely to be next superpower not belonged to a democratic order."
Let's move on, Diptyque. Some other articles you've picked up on. One about the author of The Da Vinci Code, Dan Brown, and he's facing a lawsuit from his ex-wife.
Yeah, that's right. He, of course, penned the bestseller, The Da Vinci Code, a tale of deceit and intrigue. And it appears that art is imitating life. Brown's ex-wife is suing him for allegedly siphoning large sums of money from their accounts to have sordid affairs with multiple women, including a Dutch horse trainer on whom he spent lavish amounts of money. Brown's wife is not just a bystander in his success. She says she played an important role in helping develop his book, something he's also said in the past. Dan Brown, for his part, says he's stunned by the lawsuit.
Finally, amid ties to slavery, a pub in the UK has decided to change its name in order to support the Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah, not just any name. The pub was actually named after Edward Colston, a Bristol slave trader whose ships transported tens of thousands of slaves from Africa. But after anti-racism demonstrators toppled his statue in the city, the pub has temporarily changed its name to Ye Old Pubby McJunkface, which perhaps better represents its patrons, I guess. The pub has said, of course, this is only a temporary name, awaiting better suggestions.
I bet you it will stick.
I have a feeling it will stick. It's also, of course, a nod to the infamous research vessel Boaty
McWoatface.
Exactly, which was named in a cheeky internet competition.
Okay, Diptyque Laurent, thanks a lot for bringing us a wrap-up of some of the most interesting and unusual articles in the international papers.